Hello, my name is Chelsea Boucher, and I am a First Nations family lawyer from Edmonton, Alberta. I currently practice at Long Family Law Group LLP, also located in Edmonton, Alberta, and I am so fortunate to be asked to assist in the planning process as the Indigenous advisor. I am assisting the steering committee in ensuring that there's a positive ambience and experience for attendees, and creating a safe space to learn about, respect, support, and promote Canadian Indigenous communities and their cultures. My role as the Indigenous advisor with the conference is to ensure that there is a positive recognition and engagement with Indigenous cultural practices while you're in attendance. This will include having an elder, a drum group, and also providing opportunities throughout the conference for attendees to engage with Indigenous people, as well as to learn more about Indigenous cultural practices. Truth and Reconciliation Day is important to me because I am a second generation survivor of the residential school legacy. My grandfather on my mother's side attended residential school in Uville, which is now what is known as St. Albert, Alberta. He attended that for several years and luckily did return home after attending school, which was not the case for several Indigenous people and students who had attended those schools. It is important to recognize the past, to understand that, yes, this is our history, but we are able to move forward and we are able to change what the future will look like. It is important to acknowledge that these atrocities did happen in the past, but that those do not define who Indigenous people are or define what their future will look like. So it is important to understand, yes, this is where we came from, but this is where we're going. And one of the great things about working in a collaborative environment is that we do have a bit of a better understanding of where people are coming from. Our training has taught us to look beyond just the anger or some of those emotions, but dig deeper and understand what are the root causes of what is being presented to me right now, and how can I better support this individual or this family in moving forward. So I think that it makes us not only look into ourselves, but also consider, what has this person across from me, or what have these people across from me gone through, and how can I support them in getting to where they need to be at this point in their life. Some of the traditional aspects that we are organizing for the conference include an elder, a land acknowledgement, smudging ceremony, drum group, as well as some opportunities to engage with Indigenous artisans and potentially try your hand at doing some Indigenous crafting as well. Elders are very important in Indigenous communities because they are experts in the history. They transmit cultures. They're known as spiritual advisors. They are people that you go to obtain knowledge about your Indigenous culture. They also do provide blessings for people who visit them or at events that they attend. You will also see at the conference protocol being offered to the elder for their attendance. This is common in communities because the elder will be taking time out of their own schedules to come and be with us and engage with us. At the event, there will also be a land acknowledgement. I'm not sure if in your home areas everyone does a land acknowledgement. However, it is very important to recognize the territory that you're on, the traditional people who have lived in that territory, and the ways in which you can engage with that territory. You will hear different land acknowledgements in every different community that you go to. In Alberta, we are primarily Treaty 6, 7, and 8 territory. And depending on where you are in the province, you will hear different land acknowledgements recognizing different historical people and community, but that's okay. You will hear the acknowledgement to Treaty 7 when you are attending the conference. We will also include a smudging ceremony, which you will see at the conference. The smudging ceremony is very important to Indigenous communities. It's also known as a cleansing ceremony. There are a few different medicines that you can use to smudge with, and you will have the opportunity to see these medicines, learn how to use these medicines, as well as have an opportunity to attempt smudging at the conference as well. And you will hear a little bit more about the history of smudging and why it is so vital to Indigenous communities. In addition to the elder land acknowledgement and smudging ceremony, we will also have a drum group attending from Alexander First Nation. The drum is considered the heartbeat of our nation and of our community. You will be hearing a couple of songs performed by this drum group, and they will be traveling quite a distance to come and share their music and their history with you. So we do hope that you enjoy the music that they will be playing. And lastly, we will also have a few Indigenous artisans there displaying some of their artwork. And it will be an opportunity for you to take a piece of authentic Indigenous artwork from Canada back to wherever you are from. And there will also be an opportunity to learn beading if anyone is interested. I myself am a beader, and I will be bringing additional supplies to help guide you through the process if that's something that you want to learn. One of the great things about Indigenous cultures is that we are predominantly collaborative. Each community has their own way of dealing with conflict within their own home fire or their own community, different ways to approach family issues and dynamics, different ways to approach justice. There are so many areas of collaboration in community that I think it is really important to have the Indigenous culture tie into this conference. One of the ways that culture does tie into this and the way the collaboration works is that there historically was a role for everyone in the community to ensure that the community not only survived but thrived, no matter where they were, no matter what the weather was, no matter what they went through. One of the great things about Indigenous people and their cultures are that they are resilient. No matter what happened in the past, we are still here and we are still working together and fighting for a better future. I think that a lot can be learned from Indigenous cultures in the way that they approach conflict. And what's interesting to me is that a lot of the training that we receive as collaborative professionals, a lot of those principles will actually tie back into Indigenous cultures and communities, ways of knowing and ways of working together to solve a problem. The message that I would like to share with collaborative professionals on Truth and Reconciliation Day is to take the time to reflect on the history, reflect on the past, and think about how has that history affected people today, and how can I actually support these people in moving forward and creating a better life or a better environment for them. It's very important, again, to reflect on the past, to understand the present, and to think about the future. One thing that I always say is that everyone has a story. Your story is different than my story, and it could be different than your mother's story or your friend's story or your grocer's story. But it's important to recognize and acknowledge that their past has shaped them into who they are today, and it will help guide them into who they are tomorrow. So it is really important to take the time to understand and reflect on how history and the past has impacted who the person in front of you is. That should allow you to self-reflect on, how can I support this person? How can we make sure that we're doing all that we can to advocate for this person's rights and to ensure that they're having a seamless transition through the legal process? Because law is scary. Lots of people don't know what they're doing, what to experience, and oftentimes they get stuck on legal jargon. I still get stuck on legal jargon, but it's important to recognize that there is the history. We're working towards making a better place, and hopefully in the future, collaborative law will be the primary model for approaching family issues as opposed to litigation, which I know all of you are hoping for as well. I truly hope that you look at and plan to attend the conference. This is a great opportunity for you to engage with experts in the collaborative law field, as well as to learn some new information and also engage with Indigenous culture. Given the changes in family law over the past several years, I believe that collaborative law is the way of the future, and it's really important for you to learn about, engage with, and learn from the experts in the field, the people who have been paving a way for the younger generations to actually create lasting change in the family law model. And this conference will be a great event or a great opportunity for you to not only attend a beautiful location, but to also learn from experts in the field and engage with Indigenous cultures and communities in a positive and safe environment. We hope to see you there.